Alexis Johnson is next. Call 23 CR 102.
No, Your Honor, in my notes from June 22nd that she failed to appear and her bond was forfeited. But I guess it's here today.
So what happened on that? So it was not revoked.
No, yes, it was. We were.
What is the bond? $20,000?
Yeah.
All right, you are Alexis Johnson, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What is your address, please?
1170 Ash Street, Denver, Colorado, 80220.
What's the apartment number?
325.
This is an initial appearance where you have been indicted in 23 CR 102 with a third-degree felony of intoxication assault with a motor vehicle. In summary, it states that on or about December 7th of last year, you committed that third-degree felony, which caused serious bodily injury to another with two other people. If convicted, you face no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to $10,000 can be assessed. You understand what you're charged with and the punishment range applicable?
Yes, sir.
You have a lawyer?
I do think I have a public defender, but I haven't been in contact with anyone from the public defender.
What do you mean a public defender? Why would the people, the taxpayers, pay for your mess? You don't have a job?
At the time, I didn't.
Do you have a job now?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
I work for Queen's Clean.
For what?
Queen's Clean is a cleaning company.
How much do you make an hour?
$15.
You can go hire a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be easy, but it's a mess. You made a mess, you got to clean it up. Just like I got to clean up my messes. The people, the taxpayers are not going to clean up other people's messes. So I'm going to give you 6 weeks to find a lawyer and talk to some lawyers. If you fail to acquire a lawyer, then you need to come back and then we'll talk about what's going to happen next. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, you cannot operate a motor vehicle without an interlock device. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you have?
I don't have a vehicle at this time.
Who drives you?
I usually take Uber or public transportation.
You took Uber or public transportation from Colorado to get to this?
Well, no, I flew here and took the Greyhound from Houston to Beaumont, and to get to court this morning, I took an Uber.
Is that what you did?
Yes.
You have to have an interlock device in any vehicle you operate. That's very important.
Okay.
Have you ever been arrested for a crime before?
No, sir.
You looked, kind of, I studied
state of
psychology,
Texas, no,
and when you look around, that's generally an indication you're trying to come up with an answer. But
In the state of Texas, no. In
I'm
Colorado,
not,
it was
that's not what I asked, was it?
Yes,
Have you ever been arrested before?
yes, sir.
For what and where?
In Colorado.
For?
Misdemeanor offense. Nothing serious. My serious offense was accepting stolen merchandise, which ended up being a deferred adjustment.
Okay. What misdemeanors are you talking about? You've been arrested for?
It was accepting stolen merchandise, and it ended up being a deferred judgment.
Are you still on that?
No, that was over 10 years ago.
Okay. What else? Anything else?
No, sir.
So it's just that one thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else we need to deal with here today?
No,
You're going to get a resetting and need to be back in 6 weeks. Or somebody, if you get a lawyer, you may not need to be here. They can come in and appear on your behalf.
Okay.
But again, this is serious situation where we're one case with two. It's one case number, but there's really two separate offenses.
Yes, Your Honor. There was two
Because
different
two different
individuals
people
were
have
injured.
been injured.
Yes, sir.
What was the blood alcohol thing?
It was 0.099. But I believe the accident occurred approximately 70 miles an hour or more, and they've had several surgeries to try and get over their injuries.
What car were you driving here in this event?
It was a rental car.
Let's say where that occurred. Strange reason.
It was weird. On Highway 73, near the Half Circle Ranch in Jefferson County. Let's see.
All right. Then get a resetting from that lady. Just have a seat before you leave right there. We're going to do a little urine test to make sure that you don't have any drugs or alcohol in your system. Okay.
I need to see her.
See her first, and then just have a seat right over there. Thank you.
It was right there in between Winnie and Fort Arthur, Your Honor, on 73.
73.
Yes, sir.
Don, did you have somebody?
Yes.
Who is that?
I've got Mark Thibodeau. Is that on?
Come on up. Mr. Thibodeau. I have two cases here, 22-40899 and 40900. You are Mark Wade Thibodeau, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Dusler is your attorney. You were convicted in these two cases for the second-degree felonies of online solicitation of a minor in each case and sentenced to 10 years in prison, correct?
Well, that's correct. Yes.
You were sentenced to 10 years in prison in each case, right? You were here when that happened, right? You were present.
Well, he's confused because of the motion we filed here.
Right now,
10 years.
just,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we can take one
Five
step
on each case. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't anticipate anything. I haven't ruled on anything yet. You hadn't gotten probation at all yet.
Yes, sir.
And it's not a given.
Yes.
But you were sentenced to 10 years in each case. The plea agreement is whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 15 years, correct?
Correct.
So, court sentenced you to 10 years in prison. Motion was filed. Go ahead, Mr. Dixon.
Well, Your Honor, we filed a motion for imposition of community supervision, shock probation on his behalf. This was at the suggestion of the court, but the main thing on his situation is he had a very minimal criminal history. All he had was a possession of marijuana case in 2008 as a misdemeanor, nothing else. This event he feels terrible about. He always has. He didn't have any recollection of it because he was under the influence of Xanax and marijuana at the time. He has a reason why he was, but it's not a justification by any means. He just had a terrible situation in his family, and he messed up. And he just had no knowledge of it, but he realized what a terrible mistake it was and accepts full responsibility and has. He's never been incarcerated before this in the penitentiary. I think that he has learned a very valuable lesson by being up there and would be an appropriate candidate for probation. And that's the reason for filing the motion.
I'm sorry, any criminal history?
Just that misdemeanor criminal history, misdemeanor possession of marijuana in 2008, some 15 years ago.
How old are you now? We're using Xanax daily at this time?
Well, I wouldn't say daily, but
That's what the pre-sentence report that you.
It was.
that the
I would say.
probation office-
I would
Let
say
me,
daily.
let me
yes, sir.
complete my sentence before you rudely interrupt. Okay. Pre-sentence report that was admitted into evidence in the hearing for sentencing made by the probation office, which was a product of your answers, stated that you were using Xanax daily from March of 21 to June or July of 21. Is that true?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Where were you getting this annex
I was
from?
buying it off the street, sir.
From whom? How do you do that?
And,
No, how do you do
somebody
that?
that knows somebody that I guess
Who did you know?
prescribed to it.
Who did you know?
It was a guy that I was working out of town with at
Who's
the
that?
time. It's one of the Mexicans.
Who's that?
in the valley. I don't remember his name, sir. I met him on the job site.
Your memory has been completely
It's like
detached.
Jose or Juan or something like that. I was working out of town. I was dealing with the death. My mother was dying of cancer. I was just coping with it. I was working out of town.
Coping with it by using illegal drugs? Is that right?
Yes, sir. I understand it's not the right way to deal with your problems.
Do you just say that just because you've rehearsed this? Because you through? Or you say that because you rehearsed it? Because you made a series of bad choices. Is Xanax really the only problem you ever had with drugs?
As far as using drugs,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd used drugs in my younger days, like around 2008. It's, like
What?
I was using pot. I did meth a little bit, but I haven't done that since 2008. I was just hanging
You
out.
see anything wrong with that?
Definitely, yes, sir. And I understand that I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, and I've learned to change people, places, and things and get away from that kind of stuff.
So what was it? It was methamphetamine.
Yes, sir.
What else?
And weed.
Obviously Xanax.
Not, yes, sir. I didn't use Xanax.
I thought we just talked about Xanax you used.
Yeah, in March and July.
That counts,
Okay.
doesn't it?
Yes,
In your life?
technically, yes, sir.
What else? Anything else? That's it.
Yes, sir.
You did tell the probation office you were using synthetic marijuana as well. For 3 years, and it was a lot. Do I have to remind you about what the truth is about your life, or is this a game of cat and mouse? And are you going to interrupt me a third time?
Sorry.
Next time we will gag you, and then we'll open the gag. We'll take the gag off so you can speak. I get this impression that you are the control freak, that you like to control your environment. You are the one who controls. The other people don't have a fair say. You do. You don't get to do that here. You have, I'm looking at 1, 2, between marijuana, synthetic marijuana, crystal meth, Xanax, mushrooms, all things that you admitted to the probation office that your now memory has faulted, are all things that show you have made a series of bad choices since you were 16 years of age, culminating with this mess. Online solicitation of a minor in each case. Which is the abuse of a child. It's about as low as it gets for a human to harm a child. But you spend a lot of your time harming yourself from the time, well, before you were an adult. You decided to make the wrong choices. So why is it I should shine favor on you with your rich history of wrongdoing and bad choices? Now you can speak.
Well, I've learned that as understand that I made a lot of bad choices, and it hasn't,
Are you a dumb person or a clever person?
I would say I'm pretty clever. Correct.
Well, I mean, you didn't know better?
Maybe I was just.
Maybe you just chose evil versus good on a consistent base for 15 years? Since he was 16? How old were you when you were convicted here?
Here
Yes.
for this charge right now.
Yeah. That would have been January 30th.
You know, it's
How
still
old are you
34.
Sir?
So I'm still 34.
34. Okay, so 18 years. So 17 years of a mess. It's half your life. Most of your adult life. You were making poor choices, correct? I mean, I can do the math.
Yes, sir. But like I told you, like around 2008, after I got off probation, I mean, I picked up 2 trades and I got to work and I stayed out of the way, raising a family.
Using synthetic marijuana from 24 to 27 years of age, a lot. That's about as foolish as you can make a choice.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a family then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. You chose that over your family.
Yes, sir. I'm paying for it. Yes, sir. I'm paying for it.
You're paying for it. How about them?
They're definitely paying for it.
Yeah. I'm sure they don't have a choice. Kids didn't have a choice of what family to grow up in.
Yes, sir.
But they sure got a bad choice. They got the bad end of the lot when you came along as a father. Because you really haven't shown worthiness at all in a family unit. All you've done is set bad examples. Mr. Role Model.
Changed. I just want to show you that I can do it and stay on the right path.
Anything the state says? Must say.
Well, Judge, I think the issues with the drugs and the memory, we just had a trial that was very similar to that, if the court remembers, and I didn't believe that the person had no memory of the sexual abuse then, and I don't believe this individual has no memory of what he did. And I think the drug use and all those issues that are identified in that PSI really distract from the fact that he is admitted to sending photographs of his penis to a 13-year-old, requesting her to send photos of her breasts, her vagina, and her butt, naked. And I just don't see how there's any explanation that drug use could somehow have created the opportunity for that. What's really at issue is that he created the opportunity because that was his desire. And that if left to his own devices, he probably would have been a greater offense. I think the evidence is clear from that in the PSI. And so the fact that he's here today, still sticking behind that lack of memory, I think that doesn't really rise to the standard of what this court expects whenever considering shock probation. That's my 2 pennies.
Okay. Anything else?
Everything that stands.
All right. All right. What the pre-sentence report states is from the interested parties, because they have a voice with me, was I'd like to see him do some jail time. What he did was very unacceptable and very disturbing. If the judge does give him probation, I would like him to be ordered to write a letter of apology to our family for what he has done. But it says, I would rather him do time. So that's kind of where we are here. It seems like this is one of those situations where the family feels great harm and shame for what you pulled. And it does seem very disturbing that what the facts are very disturbing, but it's contrary to your criminal history, but it's not unexpected with your rich drug history, illegal drug history. So on what if the court places the defendant on probation, what are the different conditions of probation the court would exercise in this particular circumstance?
If you were placed on a sex offender caseload, if you was required to register, I'm not sure. There's a separate order of conditions that would also be signed additionally. But he would be placed on a sex offender caseload, and there are different conditions. That's in addition to the conditions that would already be in place.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant the motion, place the defendant on probation for 10 years. There will be terms and conditions of probation which the court is going to assess, which are normal and customary for this type of offense. Also, he has a rich drug history. I want him to go into substance abuse felony punishment facility, and he's not going to be released until he completes the safety and the aftercare program that goes with that.
And Judge, we may need to look at the, make sure that we've got the sex offender registration the way it needs to be in this case.
My notes reflect that those were all done at the time.
Here's what the order is on that, because court's not going to do it for the defendant. You are required to at all times be fully, completely registered under law in this state and any other state you may move to that has similar reporting requirements.
You have to do that on re-register on a yearly basis.
Yes.
Once you register the first time, they will advise you how often you need to do that. Each offense requires different lengths of time.
Well, he should have already gone through that, even though he's in custody. I think once you register, somebody comes in and which would be, in his case, a law enforcement officer would have been doing it if he was in.
He says that they did it the first time 6 months ago. That's what my notes was in the lesson.
Where are you living?
Was living on Orange, but I'm going to move back in with my grandmother. I've lost my house and everything since I've been incarcerated. Where was I?
Let's say I don't know where your grandmother lives. Where is that?
2797 Singletary Street, Orange, Texas.
In Orange County.
Yes, ma'am.
So kind of date these today. Thank you. Is court coming?
Judge, sorry,
He's back here.
do you want to order the letter like the big family asked?
No, they want a letter of apology. I want to, that needs to get drafted, prepared, sent to this court to review for appropriateness, because I don't trust you in any way to be appropriate. And then if it's approved, then it will, I'm going to ask the probation office to submit that to the victim and family. And that needs to be done also as a condition of probation immediately. So your feet aren't touching the ground for a while. How long is safe, Pete?
It could be 6 or 9 months.
They decide that.
It's a minimum of 108 days usually, Judge.
Well, you're still in custody for a while. Anything else? No, Sean, that is all. Thank you. Has this lady been tested already? No, she's okay. Thank you. There's a warrant that's been issued for your arrest for failure to appear, sir. So just sit where you are. Don't leave. Where's Kevin? She said.
Yes, sir.
What about John? Sat there. So what do we do about these people? Let's call for William Perry, please. William Perry, number 1, and Kevin Aranda.
Mr. Kibels,
You are. Okay, come on in. Your attorney is Miss Mantalini. She is unable to be here today. We're going to have to reset this. You are registered properly at this time?
Yes, sir.
Because you've been convicted twice before for failing to do that. And now you've got another one here. It's a sex offender duty to register. Come on.
This is only the second time I've ever been charged.
It says that you were finally convicted of the felony of sex offenders duty to register in 2016 in Brazoria County, Texas. Is that true or false?
Yes, sir. That's true. That's the only one I've ever been.
Then it says here that you have a conviction. After that conviction was final, you were later convicted of illegal possession of a controlled substance in Brazoria County, Texas in 2019. Now you've got a new offense alleged of the third-degree felony of failing to register properly. So if found guilty of this offense.
Yes, sir. I thought you were saying I've been arrested for the same charge 3 times. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, the key thing here is you've been convicted before of this.
Yes.
But you are now facing habitual offender status. If convicted of this, you're looking at no less than 25 years, nor more than 99 years confinement or life in prison. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
It's very,
And that's
very steep.
been trying to speak to my lawyer because.
Okay, we're gonna have to we gotta reset it 4 weeks, okay? We're gonna reset it 4 weeks. Okay, get a resetting. Kevin Aranda. Kevin Aranda, there is no answer here in the courtroom. I asked the bailiff to call into the hall for Kevin Aranda, please.
Kevin Aranda from I didn't even know it's not here. We didn't put flight with her. I just started a moment. Oh. You were here that day. You didn't say it to me. You speak to them. And you didn't. You can't find, you wanted your own attorney. Yeah. I've been finding one game. It's I'm too old to afford it.
A nice shirt. Can't make this stuff up, can you? Here, you're going to sit right over there. Sit down right over there. You're going to test him too. Or did he say he speaks English? Tommy, did he speak English? He said he doesn't speak English. He said that to you? He doesn't speak English? More or less. It was very confusing. Alexis Johnson, come on up. You need to get a resetting, and please, whoever you hire in this, make sure they get that so they know when to appear. If you fail to be able to hire somebody, you got to return back. And this lady is going to give you that resetting, okay? Okay, then you're free to go. Thank you. Christopher Van, and A. Collins. Who's A. Collins?
Judge, she would, you ran a motion to withdraw for her, and he's here to give a status on his designation of a new attorney, where he should be.
He called this morning because we hired someone last evening, and I have nothing to show that. And then he also said he fell off his truck and hurt himself, but didn't go to the doctor.
There's no response.
Unable to be.
Yeah, 21-37764, defendant has Christopher Van. The name is called here in the courtroom. No answer. I have asked the bailiff to call into the hall for Christopher Van. No answer. Defendant has failed to appear. A warrant is issued for his arrest. And what was his bond amount, please? Looks like, correct me if I'm wrong here, $2,600? I don't understand how those numbers get reached. Not $23.95 and 97 cents, or that's just an odd number. But anyway, the bond is doubled to $5,200. Plus, the defendant must have a GPS device as a condition of bond. Nicole Turner, please. Nicole Turner. And Tommy Roebuck is her attorney.
His office contacted me this morning about 8:30 saying that his secretary had been on vacation and didn't know that Mr. Roebuck asked for us to reset this. The defendant is here now. This was being asked early on. Mr. Roebuck is going to be gone. He might even be in that school. I have no idea. They did say their client is here.
You're Nicole Turner?
Yeah.
And I don't think you... Say that again? What'd you say?
Mr. Roebuck's secretary had been on vacation. She came back to work today.
No, what about him being somewhere else?
I don't know where he is.
He wasn't at the seminar I was at.
Oh, well, I don't know.
He and I spoke last night about 8 o'clock that we're close to working out something. If we just need a few more weeks, I think we can get something worked out on it.
What does that mean? Few more weeks?
Like 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4. Yes, sir.
4 weeks? I'm going to reset this for 4 weeks. You have a drug patch?
Yes, sir.
How's that been working out?
Good.
Good. You haven't been testing positive for it or anything, huh?
I've passed every single
All right. And also, you've got a GPS device, I guess, huh? So, and you're at home confinement.
home confinement.
Yeah, you have to stay at home unless you go to and from work or
Okay.
to and from,
Well,
food and to and from hospital care, medical care. But otherwise, you're at home confinement. You can't be,
just running around. Just
that's right. And you have to drive to and from your home in the most direct route possible. That's what I wrote. Those are the conditions right there in red that I wrote on February 1st for your, so you have to follow those.
Yes, sir.
Okay, make sure you do. Okay, I get a resetting 4 weeks. Thank you. All right. And then I've got folks being tested here.
You had Donovan Alexander there too, we hadn't addressed it yet.
Yeah, come on up. We called your name. I need you. Is
I didn't have the other jacket.
I need to.
Printed out the stuff, I put it in the other place.
You did what?
The paperwork on the first case that I didn't have a file for, I can't locate. So I just printed stuff out.
All right, we called your name. You weren't here. Your bond was revoked. And there's a warrant issued for your arrest. So why were you late?
I was coming from Louisiana.
That's
I tried to do a
that's
fit.
that doesn't explain why you were late. Why didn't you start earlier? Like, responsible
I tried
people.
to do a fit for
It's
duty.
Bro Bridge. You're not that far.
Sorry, excuse me. I tried to do a fit for duty at 7:30 and rush here. I just had to come. I wasn't able to. Yesterday I called to see if I could have come at a little later, so because I have the paperwork. It's a drug screen, fit for duty, and all that.
All right. Just have a seat. We're going to drug test you to make sure you're clear before I do anything else, okay? Have a seat. You're going to be okay, right? You're going to
No,
pass?
I'm not here.
Well, have a seat. We'll do the test and find out what you got in you. You understand? I mean, that's kind of important.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, and I'm saying that facetiously because it's very important. The first condition of bond is don't commit an offense, and using illegal drugs is an offense. Everybody else is in line. Like, Kevin Aranda, come on up. You are going to get a resetting or an announcement. John West is your attorney, right? Okay. Get a resetting. Somebody speak Spanish, English? No. Everybody habla español solamente.
Tengo otra cosa.
Sí.
Okay. Yeah. Cuando, ¿y mandé más? Okay. No.
Here's the one file we can find.
Hoping that she was paperless.
What are we doing on this man? He's,
Safety permit.
yes, he's got to do some papers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one that I was going to see if you could take up a bond issue.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a case. I'm going to see if Ellie can get the file for you.
What do you mean?
It's a case that's not on your list there.
What am I supposed to do?
His attorney showed up today, did something, and he had an announcement. I thought you might want to go ahead and just take it up while we were here.
When's it set?
I don't know. It's not. It's
Charles Peters. It's not the way we normally do it.
I'm not judge.
Because the way the computer works, it's kind of doesn't like to have walk-ins.
What was the bond for?
Right. He was incarcerated in Harris County. The particular defendant was incarcerated in Harris County, and his attorney came to pick up media today and wanted to introduce himself to me. And there's an opportunity to get him up here to resolve his case in your court too.
Where is
His attorney?
no the defender?
He's incarcerated.
In jail? In our jail?
Harris County.
Yeah. Morning, Judge. I wasn't expecting to be before you this morning. I came to the court this morning to pick up some media,
Okay.
and then Sonny's been good enough to give me some of his time. I represent a man that's on your docket, Judge, charged with the state jail felony theft case. He's been in custody in Harris County since April of 2022, for about 18 months. His bond was, while he was in custody, this case was filed in his...
Go ahead. 15 months.
Okay. In his, while he was in custody in December of 2022, the bond was forfeited. He's been in a drug rehab program associated with his Harris County deferred adjudication, and he's about to get out. So I want to get his body to Jefferson County as soon as possible. So we've just been talking about what the bond status is, and we've seen now that the bond was forfeited in December. So if the court is amenable, at the court's pleasure, I'd like to approach at the proper time, whenever that is, to ask the court to reinstate
It'll be
it.
when he's around.
Okay, very good.
The only way.
So there's a warrant out for him.
Right.
So he'll have to be transferred.
Well, and the forfeiture was only done by virtue of us finding out that he was in custody in Harris County.
He was in Harris County for what reason?
Burglary of a habitation, for which he's under supervision now under their probation department. Sorry, Ellie.
What do you know about this? The underlying facts on this case.
It's a little bit of a convoluted situation, but it's involving a U-Haul rental, Judge.
Yeah, I know that.
And
It will be set for 4 weeks. So there'll be to work on this one here when you can?
Okay.
Um,
Here, Judge.
I have League City.
Yes, sir. He's going to be living with his grandparents at 1280 Bella Luna Lane in League City, Northern Park, Galveston County.
All right, so I don't think we need a GPS device on him.
He's under supervision already in another county for a higher offense, so I think you're good, Judge.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, that's important that you'd think so.
Well, I try to get my way in my opinions.
So, it will be set for 4 weeks, so there'll be an announcement or initial appearance in 4 weeks.
We'll be here,
See
Judge.
what happens. Okay.
Thank you for your
Yes,
attention.
sir.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Now, Donovan, come on up. Yeah, you've really blistered this test. Between THC and amphetamines. And of course, here you are with the state jail felony of illegal possession of marijuana. This is gonna sting. I mean, your bond here, it looks like it's $5,500 and it is revoked. You are going to be taken into custody. Your bond, Ellie, we're going to need to work on this one here when you can.
Okay.
Your bond is now going to be $75,000. Plus, you must have a drug patch. Plus, a GPS device so I know where you are. You have flirted with drugs far too long. You have a pending case here for drugs. You show up testing positive for 2 illegal drugs. It's time you reached responsibility here and started acting with maturity. And this ridiculous criminal behavior is only going to dig a deeper hole. It's like you're in the woods and all you're doing is walking deeper into the woods. You're not getting out of the woods. You got to get out of the woods.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
This was a situation with me and my blood brother.
So what? What do you mean? Is he giving you the drugs?
No, with the situation with the truck was the truck we went half on. I have all the, if you look at my phone, everything, the email was registered to me, that my name is on the business cards.
Sir, I'm just talking about, we're not trying the case right now. What we're doing is handling your bond responsibilities, which means, number one, don't commit a crime. You committed 2 offenses with these 2 drugs in you.
Yes, sir.
That's the deal right now.
It's all good.
So handle it responsibly. Do you have a lawyer on this?
No, sir.
Are you able to hire a lawyer?
I was going to be trying to get one.
Are you able to hire one right now?
No, sir.
All right. Let him, he needs to fill out one of those indigent forms, okay?
Good. We're going to take him to custody.
Then take him to custody. Get him to fill out an indigent form. If I declare an indigent, then we'll appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Can I call my wife?
They're going to take care of you. Yes, sir.
You think that he can 75,000?
Anything else?